you're on camera.
Uh-huh.
It says live. I think we're good here. Back it up just a little bit so we get the banners, the flyers in there.
Okay, it's working.
Back it up just a little bit so we get the banners.
Oh, no.
It was fun. We had that one podcast. Who was our guest when the mics were on? We started like, hey, we got to start from the top.
Well, typically I do what's happening Salem story post.
But there was one where we started the podcast and the mics just weren't on.
They were not on, yeah.
Who was the guest
That
for
was
that?
like our first time going with this setup, I think.
Might have been. Oh, I think it was Banner Homes when they were here. Who knows?
So typically I started with a story post
Yeah.
from over there. So now do I do a story post from over
We
here?
take a selfie. We do the selfie.
Let's take a selfie. Let's do that.
People will want to hear from you.
Okay. All right. Oh, this is the wrong side. I'm a boomer. All right. All right, there we go.
I feel like the point is always my go-to. It's just a simple thing to do. Do you ever get
Start
the
with
moments
a
where you're taking
selfie?
pictures and you're like, what do I do with my hands in this picture?
What am I doing with my hands?
I feel like I'm always, not always, but I feel like in pictures, there are times where I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? So I just point,
Yeah, that's a good use of it.
point, peace sign, wave. Sometimes thumbs up, I feel like. I've been a big thumbs up guy for a lot of my life.
Yeah, that's positive.
So the show we got, April 24th, at the Grand, 8 p.m., all ages. This is a big show. I mean, we got some
Yeah.
good bands on here. Who's it hosted by? Salem County. Oh,
Yeah, it's
Freddie.
Ruins.
Freddie,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And then I don't know Star Chamber, to be honest. I'm not familiar with their music a ton.
So that's kind of cool. That's Wild Ire suggested them. You know, Wild Ire goes and plays in, I think, Louisiana
Okay.
every year. They do like a battle of the bands down there. And it's a band they met down there. It's really good. It's really coherent with Wild Ire's sound.
Awesome.
But they hit it off with Wild Ire. Somehow there's a connection there that they ended up moving up to Portland from Louisiana.
Crazy.
And so they've been hustling in Portland, and they're really good.
Awesome.
They kind of remind me of Paramore a little bit.
Okay. I feel like that's the trick with music, is you're trying to like introduce it by comparing it to another band.
Yeah.
And then people are like, no, we're our own sound. You know what I mean? So I think there's a balance there, but I think having something familiar is definitely makes it more accessible for most people.
Yeah. I tend to, people ask me what my band sounds like, and I'm like, dude, everyone tells me something different.
Yeah.
You know?
You guys do have a lot of different sounds, I feel like.
Yeah.
I like the funk though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had someone say that specifically.
I think it's just the one,
always
the
different.
jam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's one song so I'm performing 2 songs.
Yeah.
I was looking, somebody posted, like, I haven't seen you since this, and it was like 2015. And
was
that
last
might
time
have
we
been
played.
my last thing. I feel like since I've had kids, I really haven't rapped at all, you know, for better or worse. And so I think that is my last. This might be the first time in 10 years I've been on
That'd
stage.
be 11 years, man.
Yeah, 11 years. How's it 2026 already?
Okay, not the first time you've been on a stage in 10 years, though.
But-
Seems like you've been doing a lot.
Yeah, a lot of
doing
speaking,
a lot of stage time.
and hosted the TEDx in 2020, which was super cool.
I didn't know that.
And then I've been speaking at conferences and things like that. So not the first time on stage, but first time rapping. Mm-hmm. And this will be my first time with a full band on stage as well, which I'm excited for because it's just a different energy.
Yeah.
When you have the band there, so I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So they're running a show, so my kids are coming.
Nice.
Which I'm excited for. How late will you guys be on? Do you think?
We're on at 10.
At 10, okay.
So, yeah.
So I'll be on like at 10:30-ish.
Are your kids party animals? Are they good at being up till 10?
I mean,
Till 11?
yeah, we'll be up till 10. We'll probably leave after I'm off stage and go home. 'Cause, he's competing in the relays. They used to be the JC relays.
Yeah. They
But
changed it.
yeah, now it's like Salem Kaiser relays or something.
What did JC stand for?
Maybe JC's Pizza. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think it actually was that, but I think it was associated with a sponsor.
Oh.
Let's look it up actually. JC relays. This is actually going to be a good tool because there's so many times that we. Now it's the country relays.
What? Now it's the country.
So Salem
relay?
Kaiser Kids Relays, formerly known as JC Relays or Country Relays.
Oh, maybe it was like junior country.
Could have been, yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe. What did JC and JC Relays stand for?
It's funny. I've always hated running.
This is from JC, Junior Chamber of Commerce. Really?
Oh, okay.
That's hilarious. was known as JC Related, sponsored by local chapter of Salem Junior Chamber. Okay, I never knew that until this very moment. That's hilarious. All right, there you go. What were you saying though?
Oh, I've always hated running, and I didn't know. My dad was telling me I did track in middle school, and I don't remember doing that. But maybe there was a time I forgot about running because I actually hated it so much.
We would do like the Bush Park runs.
Oh.
So there was like a Bush Park run when you were younger, it was like 500 meters, and then when you got to like older in grade school, it was a mile, and then like it's a 5K, and they still do them every summer. Like it's a huge Salem tradition.
What was that called?
I think it's just Bush Park summer runs.
Because I did one of those.
Okay.
I did one of those when I was little, and I don't
Yeah.
know what it's called.
I think it's just called Bush Park runs. I don't know either. But let's talk about the music scene. In Salem.
Yeah. The music
So
scene.
so I started doing shows probably 2007. I feel like is around the time. This is the time when MySpace was big. We would still get out and put posters all over poles, and that was like the worst thing. It would probably take 2 hours. It was like a huge time commitment, but it always felt like such a chore. And getting people that were in the shows to do it was like, I don't know. It was really challenging. People didn't want to do it at all. So we were talking about it before the podcast. So we were kind of the end of that era, where like you would go out and put posters. I think there still are people that will like hand it in locations, and there are certain shops downtown that will like post your event posters and things. But for the most part, people really rely on digital, I feel like, for promotion. But you mentioned that you do a lot of these.
I do a lot of these, yeah. And then I go and put them out downtown, the bookstore.
Yeah.
Some of the businesses, there's a barbershop that likes them.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly going down with flyers and putting them up. I don't know typically if the flyers make a big difference, but I mean, it's still, I do it because it's kind of nice, you know, and it makes me feel like it's more of an event.
Yeah.
And even if it brings in another like 5 people, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind walking around and, you know, getting to talk to everybody and stuff. The handbills I know make a difference. We were talking about back in the day. I remember people had handbills all the time. I remember getting handbills handed to me downtown for like Icebox shows.
Yeah.
Or the SIP, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Let's get into the venues a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So the venues we had. So when I first started doing shows, pretty much every venue was like, we're not doing rap. Like clubs had done what they would tell us. Like, yeah, we did a show. There was like fights that broke out. We're just not doing it anymore. And so we really had to get super creative on like where we could do shows. Luckily, the Ike Box was always great for us, and you know they had their kind of no cursing, which was good for our brand of hip hop because that's not really what we were about anyways. But we did shows like a donut shop on Lancaster. They paid us for like a dozen donuts afterwards, and it ended up being like one of the funnest shows. We brought like a DJ, like speakers. It was a small room, so even though it wasn't a huge turnout, it felt packed. Like we had rap battles that broke out afterwards. Like people were on the mic, like battling each other. We had like a couple of b-boys that were breakdancing. So it was just really cool energy. And I was like, we should do more shows at donut shops. And all my friends were like, no, we're not doing that. But I say that because we did have to kind of get creative. Another spot that was super cool was the SIP, which is a boba tea place that was where Venti's is now. But downstairs, they actually would do live shows occasionally. I don't know what they use the space for otherwise. Maybe just seating, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I never actually went to the shop upstairs. I just went to a couple concerts downstairs.
Okay, I never even bought the tea.
Yeah.
What were the other venues that like where were rock shows happening? I remember there was like a house that would like host rock shows occasionally.
Yeah, there was the burial grounds. They had metal shows. I don't know. I was like 18 or 19 when I went to some of those. And then there was, yeah, that's the only house I can think of.
Okay, that probably was it.
And then shortly after that, though, was also the Wasteland.
Okay.
Did you ever go to the Wasteland?
I don't think so.
It was over kind of by the Gilbert House. It was like an industrial building that I think is a gym now.
Okay.
But it used to be Jared from Radness and Sue's. It was his venue.
Very cool.
And it was I think it was just metal bands, metal and punk.
Okay.
And that was really fun. And then bands would practice upstairs. Aside from that, I remember the Triangle was doing a lot of shows.
Yes.
But they actually let me play there when I was under 21, which was kind of It was kind of cool. We were 18, and then we got to go on and play, and then we had to leave.
Yeah, yeah. The Triangle was great as well. They kind of moved their stage around now. I remember it used to be like to the left in that hallway.
It was kind of weird over there.
Yeah.
I think it's better where it is now.
Yeah, I like it how it is now for sure. Yeah, you kind of see it when you walk in because they moved the bar, how the bar's structured. Yeah, I think it definitely flows a lot better now compared to what it was before.
Well, they moved it twice because at first it was like right when you came in, it was just like right there on the left was the stage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they brought it to the back corner now.
You're right.
Which I think is better.
Yeah, it's kind of because it is kind of awkward. You walk in and the band's like to your left playing in your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. They think the flow now is great. They got a good system there. I think Salem's always had an issue with like all ages concerts because either it's like, all right, this is an all ages venues, no cursing, kids only, and I feel like it's appropriate to have an outlet where you can go be a kid and add a concert. I think Portland does a good job of like all ages, 21 over. You can go to your concert, your parents pick you up afterwards, whatever. I think Salem parents maybe are just not really comfortable in that space. I remember one time we did a show. I can't even remember what the name of the club was, but we like had this conversation with this bar where they moved all the alcohol. It's where there's a restaurant there now. Gosh dang, what is it called? This is a terrible podcast. I can't even think of what I'm talking about right now. But I'm gonna pull up what the restaurant is now. Maybe I can remember what the bar is. But we convinced them to make it in all ages. Where like one room was all ages, the other room was 21 plus. It's Marco Polo. So Marco Polo is now.
Oh.
And they did it, and like nobody showed up.
Oh no!
And like the feedback I got from like, because people on MySpace are like, "Yeah, I'll be there. I can't wait." And then they're like, "Hey, I couldn't make it. My parents wouldn't let me go." I was like, "Hey, it's all good. Appreciate you wanting to support." But so yeah, I think the 21 over crowd was like, I don't want to be in a room with a bunch of 16-year-olds, and the 16 crowd was like, their parents weren't going to let them go be at a bar. But I was just trying to throw a concert where everybody could be there.
I thought of another venue that used to do things, but I didn't go to a lot of them. Maybe I just didn't know about a lot of them, but I think it was the Eagles Club in Kaiser.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking
about?
The
Elks Club. Is the Elks?
No, not the Elks. Club? The Eagles Club. It's behind it, or south of it.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the Elks Club. I think it's called the Eagles Club.
Okay,
and I don't even know if it's a thing anymore, but they have but it's right behind the Elks Club. And it's kind of like a smaller version of the Elks Club, I think. But I remember there being concerts back there. Not a lot of them.
Yeah. So I think, there were a lot of just rooms that people were like, hey, we could bring a speaker and set something up and make it happen here. Mm-hmm. I think that's always been kind of the attitude of Salem's music scene is like, hey, if we can find a space, like we'll find a way to make something fun happen.
Yeah.
So we had Triangle, the SIP. So SIP and the Ike Box were the two I really remember being all ages.
Isn't there a club downtown called like Midnight or something that used to do shows too, or the Six?
Sure. The Six Ultra Lounge. Yeah, we did. I think they were more of a club.
We
did a couple of like shows there, but it was like on a weekday when they're trying to figure things out. There was around that time, Kyle Melsha. He lives in Texas now. But he had this crew that was just like making Salem pop like every night.
Oh.
They had something going on. It was like Wednesday night, and like it would be going to like midnight, 1 a.m.
Big concerts?
No, just like club, like getting people out, like having fun.
DJs and stuff.
Yeah, like Six Ultra Lounge was big. I think it was like it was right in that time period where it transitioned from Moonbakers to the Six Ultra Lounge.
Is that did that turn into Cafe Shine?
Yeah, it became a coffee shop, and now it's becoming a club again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does that open? Do you know anything about that?
I think the next couple of months is what I'm hearing. So curious what they do it.
I've heard they've got a stage in there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be trying lots of things. I think anytime you open a venue, you're like, all right, what's going to bring people in here? It's going to be a little bit different than what's being offered other places. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I was in there when it was a coffee shop like once a long time ago. So like I have an image in my head of what it looks like, but I'm not sure.
The other all ages venue is Coffee House Cafe.
Coffee House Cafe?
It was right across the street. I think it's where Amadeus is now.
Oh.
And it was a coffee shop, but they would do concerts all the time. Mm-hmm. And it was like, we did rap shows there. They had like, remember Julia Owens? She was like, I feel like she was one of the bigger names in the scene at that time.
Yeah.
I would see her names on flyers all the time being shared.
She teaches violin or something.
Does she?
I think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Super talented musician.
Violin or guitar.
I believe it. Let's look it up. What is Julia Owens up to now?
I think there was also Clockworks.
Clockworks. What was that?
That was over. I think maybe it became Venti's. Not Venti's.
Okay.
Kraftwerks.
Oh,
We're
Clockworks
somewhere
to
over there.
Kraftwerks. Okay. I don't think I remember
I
doing
think it was
shows
just.
there.
I mean, totally different business. The names are pretty.
Yeah.
Similar. It was in that area though. I think it might have been there.
I love it. We had a problem where we would do like 3 shows in Salem in a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there were times where it's like, I don't even want to go to the show. Why would somebody else want to come see me at this show?
Were you booking all of them, like setting them up? Or?
We were setting them up. Yeah. It was just, I mean, the good side is we got a lot of practice, like as live performers. And so when we went on the road and we were out of state, we kind of, I think we were more prepared than maybe most people that are on their tour for the first time were. Because I'm sure you see it. Like a band does their first show, all their friends and family show up, and they feel really good about themselves, and you're kind of like, be ready, because these guys are not going to show up to all of your shows. Then you got to learn to actually like put on a good show, and there's like a learning curve to get there. And I think doing shows, you can tell the bands that are doing, for hip hop at least, I'm curious for live bands, but you can tell people that are doing shows out of state and are learning to connect with people that aren't familiar with their music before they show up. And I think some people I think feel like getting a box, right? You only do shows in your town and you don't really force yourself to get that experience of, all right, no matter who's here, I'm going to make sure that this is a good show and I'm going to understand how to connect with an audience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a totally different thing doing it in your own pond versus someone else's, because you've got the fact that your friends, if you got a good friends and community, they're going to support you no matter what, and then you might go somewhere else and they're just wolves.
Yeah.
And like if it isn't really good, then they're going to be like, well, we don't really care.
Yeah.
And it's already hard. You book yourself somewhere out of town, and then they might put you on last, and you've already got a smaller pool that's going to stick around to see you because their friends they just saw that band play.
Yeah.
And they go home. So you got to be able to grab them, and and that's a real test. It's a real learning curve.
Yeah. I remember we went on tour, Alex Cruz.
Yeah.
He DJs now, but he was a rapper for a long time. We went on tour with Scarab from Living Legends, who, if you know West Coast hip hop, you're familiar with the term Living Legends.
Yeah.
But I remember, so we would kind of take turns who would open and who would go right before Scarab, and it was always the person that opened that had the better set, because people would stick around and watch the opener, and then they'd be excited for the show. And then they're like, all right, when's Scarab coming on? So they would kind of leave and like get a drink or go smoke when the next group was going, and they come back with the energy for Scarab. And I remember I thought it would be the opposite. I thought like we never wanted to open because like that's going to be the worst spot. People aren't going to be there, but it ended up being the exact opposite. It's just kind of interesting. You made me think of it when you talked about like going on after the headliner, who everybody's there for, and yeah, that can be challenging. We would bring people to Salem thinking they were the headliner, but it was all of our friends there, so everybody would leave, and I'd feel really bad every time, but most people understood. That's just kind of that's just kind of how it works.
I think part of that is also like understanding the venue where you're playing at. If a venue has a really good outdoor section, people end up spending a lot more time taking breaks in the outdoor section.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
People end up spending a lot more time taking breaks.
I'm going to mute this, see if anybody's leaving comments. No, nobody, we're good. But yeah, what are the best outdoor sections in Salem?
Oh, like specifically that have a venue or just in general?
Maybe at a venue first, but just in general.
Dude, I love the Den in the halftime.
Yeah.
Those are also my favorite bars to go to anyway.
Yeah. Do they do shows at the Den?
They used to.
Okay.
I don't know if they are anymore. They do comedy there.
Yeah.
I don't think they do live music anymore. Halftime had a show recently. They had Shitty Safari played there.
Okay.
And
is that a local band? I'm not.
Yeah, it's a local band.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I can't think of any other shows that have happened there.
Okay. The Salem's comedy scene is kind of in a cool place right now.
Dude, it's been moving.
I think it's of course unfortunate Infinity Room is no longer with us. It's just such a cool venue. They probably had the best sound, like by far, from what I witnessed in a local venue.
That was the magic of Chris Pelka.
Yeah, man, he was just passionate about what he did there, and
He's doing lights for us.
Is he really?
Grand show.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, had good experiences. We did one event there, and yeah, he was super helpful, and just everything sounded great. But because of it closing, people have kind of had to adapt, and you kind of see comedy like spreading across the city and like finding small pockets, and I think different brands and all sorts of venues. I know the Brick Room's doing stuff. I think they did open mic at the Ballroom.
Yeah, that's Wednesday. That's tonight. That's tonight.
It's almost becoming what trivia is.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every bar's kind of figuring out their brand of trivia. I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of bars are now figuring out, okay, what is our brand of comedy? Because we know it's going to bring some people and keep them entertained. And people are sitting down. They're probably going to have another drink before the next set comes up or whatever. So it's kind of interesting seeing it take that sort of a form. And I think it'll be interesting to see how it really rolls out, and what does Salem's comedy scene become.
Yeah, the one at the Grand, that upstairs, it's the Bricked Up Comedy.
Yes.
That's tonight. I bartend actually at that one.
Awesome. Okay. How's it been going?
Pretty fun. I think it's pretty good. It started out downstairs in the Brick Room, and I think that was kind of cool, but it's just way cooler up on the stage up top.
Yeah, it's already set up for it. The space is there, you might as well use it.
Yeah, I think it's been growing. I mean, with any open mic, usually they're kind of, they kind of go like this, but they're sticking with it, and it's also great. I think it's also a really good thing for the comedy scene because, comedy is something that I feel like, you practice it in the mirror all day long, and it's not the same as, like, from my perspective, watching live music, that you really gotta hone it in front of a crowd and in front of your friends, And I think that even, if anything, it makes Salem's comedy scene so much better because they're getting all that exposure with, each other, and they're really supportive.
Yes. Yeah, it's a 10,000 hour rule, right? Like, to be great at something, they say like 10,000 hours is the mark. And I think the more opportunities we have for local comics, musicians to perform, just the easier it's going to be for them. Like, the quicker they're going to get better. Do you feel like the music scene is pretty collaborative right now, or is there a lot of dog eat dog mentality? So I feel like for rap, like looking back at it, if we would have just like worked with people and all helped each other get better, like it would have been such a much better like thriving scene. But I feel like the mentality at the time was very much like, that person's eating cake, that means I'm gonna have less cake. So like this got to be my, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna pump my shows. I'm gonna like maybe like try to show up to somebody else's, but I'm not really gonna support it, to the full ability. But I feel like what's cool about this space is there's just so much potential for collaboration of people getting to know each other, helping each other out, like finding ways to partner. And like if we have that mentality and that focus, like it's gonna be good for the entire community.
Yeah,
Curious how you
sure.
feel like the music scene right now. Like what are you seeing?
I think Salem's music scene is dogged on a lot harder than it deserves to be.
Yeah.
I think that there's a ton of live music going on. Have you seen, there's a ton of live music going on, and people are always like, nothing's happening in Salem, but also I think people aren't really looking.
Exactly.
You know, and there's only so much like putting it right in front of someone's face, and people are figuring it out more. I think Infinity Room going away was a big hit to our music scene, but I think what the Grand's doing, what GovCup's doing, and there's like venues that have been just run it for a long time and do a great job.
Yes.
Like the Halfpenny and West Side, and I think it's actually, how do I say this? It's good, but I think it gets dogged on a lot harder than it should be, and I think it also has room to grow, and I think it is growing.
Yeah.
I think it took a hit, and it's kind of rebuilding a little bit.
Awesome.
So, I have a friend from Portland that goes and sees live music.
When did it take a hit? What caused that, do you feel like?
Oh, COVID.
Yeah, for
was
sure. Okay, we're talking
huge,
6 years ago.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, COVID was huge on it. And Salem has had a hard time getting consistent venues. We don't have any consistent venue for specifically for original music that has been around for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
When you go to Eugene, we've got like Lucky's has been, which I think they actually maybe just changed their name, but it's still the same place. They've been there like 30 years or something, and we don't really have that.
Yeah.
So we maybe do for I don't know how long some of these bars that have been playing music I've been around, but specifically for original music or specifically a venue.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like in Eugene, and Portland is another good example where you kind of have like venue sizes that get progressively bigger, where you kind of start here, then you work your way to this venue, and then this other venue, not only for local acts but for touring acts as well.
Yeah,
Where it's like we have a place for you here, and you fill that up. Like, all right, maybe we'll move you to a bigger venue, and then it kind of just gets bigger each time, right? I feel like in Salem we don't really have that sort of a network established, and every time a venue closes, it's like, all right, new relationships. The person touring has to figure, okay, who do I reach out to now if I want to do a show in Salem? But also the fan in Salem that wants to see live music. Like, all right, where do I go? I was going here all the time, it's closed, and now there's like the effort to find a new place. And anytime there's effort, you're going to lose a percentage of people who would potentially want to enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of it too is marketed via social media, and I think it gets hard too. And you probably know this better than anybody, that social media is kind of hard to tap into, and I think you're doing a great job at that.
Thank you.
I met someone for the first time in a while that was my age that has never had any social media and doesn't even have a smartphone. And he was telling me, he's like, I want to find more events going on downtown. I know they're happening, but I have a hard time finding them because I don't have social media at all. And I was like, oh, wow. And so I was like, well, I've got just the thing for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's a flyer, which, is great. And I think sometimes I undervalue this type of promotion because I am so online that I'm just like, that's where the attention is. I know there's a lot of attention, but I'm missing out on people who maybe are on Instagram scrolling. And it's becoming more popular. I think people are starting to be not as interested in being online all the time. Like, in-person events are definitely coming back. But then it comes to the problem to solve is like, all right, people aren't online. How do we make sure we keep our message in front of them? Like, how do we make sure people know what's happening in the community? I swear that there's like a live music in Salem page, and I want to find it. I feel like Freddie put it together, actually. Maybe like a trivia night in Salem page. Maybe it wasn't live music.
I don't know. Have you followed that guy, A.V. Bennett, on Instagram and Facebook? He's been posting all of the local shows, and he's got a list of like, I mean, dude, it's really impressive. I don't know a website, but it's I think it's A.V. Bennett. I think he's on Facebook.
Avril Ben, that's A.V. Bennett.
It might be on Facebook. But he's been posting to like the local community groups. It's really impressive. Awesome. Like any given night. I think that's his name is A.V. Bennett. Yeah. Look at this.
Oh, Bennett A.V. Okay.
Oh, Bennett A.V. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but he is just killing it. Look at this.
Cool.
Wednesday, Thursday,
it's all live music
Friday.
happening in Salem?
Yeah, dude. You gotta talk to this guy. Look at this. Look at how much live music is going on this weekend. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 music shows going on this Friday. So that's 16 if you don't like our show.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I will say, though, that these are not all Salem. A lot of these are like local things, too.
But yeah, a lot of them
Independence,
are. A lot
Albany.
of them are Salem.
Yeah, a lot of them are Salem. Yeah, or there's Silverton.
That's so much. Because there have been times I'll be like looking, like where can I go find live music? And even me, I feel like I'm fairly, in the know. You don't know about everything. And if I don't like who's playing at the Grand that night, or I'm not interested in that genre of music, then, it's kind of one of those
look
things.
At this list that's going on
but he didn't
Saturday.
put the Kid Espy. He didn't list the Kid Espy as part of the show Friday,
man.
So I gotta...
You gotta reach out to him.
I gotta leave an angry emoji for that.
You gotta leave an angry emoji?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go in on him on Reddit. Just make sure he knows. You made a mistake, bruh. The list is
Found
trash.
him on Reddit.
No, what an incredible resource. Shout out this guy.
Yeah, dude. Bennett AV. Yeah, I've been seeing him post in like the local community groups. I think he's only been doing it for a little while because I swear a couple months ago it was just like, here's 3 shows going on this weekend, and now, I mean, dude, he's tapped into everything. Maybe if there's more than this.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This is impressive. Anyone that says Salem's music scene sucks needs to look at this and see like, oh
Yeah.
no.
So there was originally supposed to be a Chris Calico show in Salem Armory on Saturday, postponed, new date to be announced, to be
I don't know who
determined.
Chris Calico is.
He's on like, oh man, I should definitely know this rapper's name. I'm trying to think of. Gosh dang it, Tech Nine. He's like Tech Nine's crew. So, but yeah, awesome. What a great resource. But I think like the truth about lists like this, in my experience, if people aren't monetizing them, they are short-lived.
Oh,
because it's
yeah.
a lot of work. You're volunteering, doing the work, and it's always that one extra thing you have to find time for. So unless he has a process that makes it just extremely simple to replicate, then maybe it's automated. I think something like this could be with somebody that just understood how to do it. Maybe he figured it out, which would be awesome. But I feel like a lot of times these things kind of like are cool and then they die because you got to pay your bills. So if you got to like do something to make money versus do something that you love, unfortunately, sometimes
It might be
the bills come
monetized.
first.
Support services and consulting for live entertainment.
But yeah, so maybe this is like a way for him to market himself, which would be great. So hopefully it works out because we want this resource to continue is why I say that.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have any like pictures of who he is or anything, so I don't know.
Can you think of a favorite show? Maybe one that you performed in, the one you attended in Salem.
In Salem. Let me think about that. Probably. And playing at the amphitheater was pretty cool. And then Infinity Room, I think that like maybe in like a, what do you call that, where you love something but you're sad at the same time, getting to play at the last Make Music Day because it was also their last day.
Yeah.
You know, that was incredible. That felt really special. That would probably be, I'm trying to think of anything else in Salem that like, I mean, there's been so many amazing, really fun shows here.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably that is off the top of my head is the Infinity Room one.
Okay. I think for me, performing we opened for Blue Scholars at Willamette.
No way.
And you know who Blue Scholars are?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
they also sing some really Northwest proud music.
absolutely. Yeah. I think before Macklemore's rise, they were the biggest group out of the Northwest, in my opinion, at least, in the college rap conscious sort of scene. And so that was awesome. And like we just built a good relationship with them. So whenever they came to Oregon, we would be the group that opened for them. And I remember we did a show at Portland venue. It was like a restaurant bar, and you go downstairs. It's closed now. It was my favorite venue. Gosh dang it! What was it called? I can't remember anything right now.
Portland?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Anyways, I was like a first time opening for them, and there was like a bunch of Portland rappers there, and we're these guys from Salem that are opening for them in their city. So they're kind of like,
what are you doing?
they kind of I think people kind of like gave us a little bit of respect.
Is Blue Scholars out of Portland? I thought
They're out of Seattle. Yeah, they were touring though. Yeah.
Well, there is also Logic lives in Bend.
Yeah, he lives in Bend now. Yeah.
Is that where he's from?
He's not from Bend.
Oh.
No, I think he moved there. He's like making a movie and a soundtrack for the movie right now or something I heard. But yeah, kind of a interesting tidbit. It'd be interesting if he did decide to get involved in Oregon's music scene at some level. I feel like when you're a creative, you want to connect with local creatives. So
yeah.
Yeah. But that was a fun, like the Blue Scholar show was a lot of fun at Willamette. Just because we were huge Blue Scholars fans and there's a good amount of people there. I remember, I'm trying to think of like a classic rap show. We haven't had a ton of like big rap shows in Salem, but Ice Cube's coming this summer.
Couple. I mean, I don't know if it's really, kind of Swayze played here, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
How did that go? Do you know?
No, I never went to
it. Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that was
also back when I was working at the Bad Space, and so it's like either Friday, Saturday night, if I'm not doing my own band's thing, I was also running sound for a concert there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so we kind of get people. I think we're not as good at getting people on their rise. I think we
oh,
get them kind of like a few years after, where people are familiar with it. Because I don't think we have the culture that where people are really like looking for that new thing.
I will say that the Grand is doing a good job at trying on that.
Awesome.
I think that the Grand is doing that. I mean, as always, it's kind of a risk to take,
Exactly.
you know, but they're doing it.
I think people like if you're a concert attender, you might not appreciate like the risk that is involved in throwing a show because the one is like the opportunity cost. Like I'm spending my time doing this because I really want it to work out. And if it doesn't work out, then like there's all these things you could have been doing instead of this thing. Um, and plus just the financials. Like you got to pay sound people, you got to pay for the venue, you got to pay the bands, and whatever guarantees come with that. And then if the show doesn't work out, like it's on you. Every now and then a show works out great, and like everybody feels good, and it's the best feeling in the world. But like all of those failures to get to that success, it's humbling, and some people don't make it past it. You know, I remember we did a festival at Volcano Stadium,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
right.
like a local music festival, and we probably had 30 people buy tickets. There were more bands than people that actually. I talk about it in the book actually, and a lot. I remember I had a couple friends who were like, "I thought that was gonna be the hit for you," but I was like, "All right, on to the next thing." Like immediately, just wash my hands with it. All right, what can we do next? And
Did you have to rent the?
it was like a split because they were trying to
Oh,
figure out other ways they could make money. And so
yeah.
I think they were kind of playing with the idea of, all right, what would this look like as a venue? They had like a room that I was like talking to them about maybe like having an Icebox sort of a venue or, you know, just having shows throughout the rest of the year. But it didn't work out, you know, which is okay. But yeah, I think it is interesting they've never done a concert at Volcano Stadium. I know that they want
You're
to.
the only one that's ever done it?
I mean, probably maybe that's because of how bad that one went.
Oh
But I think
no.
it would just take the right promoter to come in and invest and get like a band that could actually fill the space. I know they're interested in doing music there, but
Dude, did you see we've got some bigger acts coming to the amphitheater this year?
yeah,
Do we have Slightly Stupid coming?
we have Ice Cube and Slightly Stupid coming.
I didn't
Yeah,
know Ice Cube was coming
yeah,
this summer to
like
Salem.
it's like the How High something.
What?
Riverfront. Yeah, it's the On High, and it also has Charlie Tuna from I think Jurassic 5, right? So yeah, just like an incredible concert to happen
I
in
did not realize it was Slightly Stupid
Ice
and
Cube.
Ice Cube.
Yeah, so pretty incredible. They have like this company has two. There's Florida and Salem, Oregon, and Cut Chemist is a great DJ. I don't know the elevators.
Brother Ali? Oh wait,
This is the one in
here.
Florida, and yeah, that would be awesome.
Pepper.
Brother Ali and Grouch and Eli, they're in California. Like let's get them here.
Dude, we gotta get
But this is a
everybody needs to go to this show.
yeah.
Because if this does well, maybe they're gonna start bringing more of these kind of.
And the
acts to
thing about it,
Salem.
like this is the type of thing that's going to bring people in from outside of Salem.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
I mean, downtown is going to be popping that night. You have Ice Cube, Slightly Stupid. All the
Salem-
hotels are going to be packed. You know.
Salem should be a really good spot for this because we're right in between.
Exactly.
You know, Portland and Eugene. Could be a spot. You know, it used to be.
Yep.
Dude, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, everybody came to the
Yeah.
Armory.
Yeah. It just takes the right person recruiting and that's passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quick break. Speaking of great places to go, a few weeks ago, my girlfriend and I cut out of work early on a Tuesday, and we drove 90 minutes west to Newport. And this was the best decision we made all week. See, so here's the thing nobody talks about. Newport is really built for a date night. Nye Beach, completely walkable. You park once and you're done. We stayed at Hotel Sylvia. It's a 22-room boutique on the cliffs where every room is themed after an author, which was super cool. And I think, you know, Salem's book, love for books, will play in well to this. But they don't have any TVs. I mean, your phone's down, and you just have, you know, the time of your life. And we went to dinner at Local Ocean Seafood, which is on the bayfront, and they pulled a whole Dungeness for us, even though it wasn't on the menu. Then we went to Zaritas, which is only 2 blocks from the hotel. We had a Correjo, which was incredible. You should try it. You'll thank me later. And the next morning, we got chowder at Chowder Bowl right off the beach. It's only 90 minutes from Salem, cheaper than Cannon Beach, better food than you're expecting, I would say, if you go to the right spots. And this week's episode is brought to you by Discover Newport. Plan your trip at discovernewport.com. That's DISCOVER Newport.com. We appreciate your support. Back to music.
Okay, but what is Correjo?
It is similar to an espresso martini, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was some kind of a fish dish.
Oh no, it is a drink. Let's look at exactly what is in it. A popular Spanish and Latin American coffee cocktail made with hot coffee and a spirit like brandy, rum, or coffee liqueur.
I do love coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that when I'm done with 75 hard.
You need to. How's it going? How's 75 hard going?
Today's day is 31.
Let's go.
So that's pretty good. I feel like I have a ton of energy.
Yeah?
Yeah, like a crazy amount of energy. It's weird what like not drinking and eating right has done.
Yeah.
I'm working out a lot.
And moving all the time.
Moving all the time, yeah.
What are you doing for your workouts?
I'm doing, you know what I've realized over the years? I think that the hardest hurdle with me with working out is that I hate the gym.
Yeah.
I hate going to the gym. And so cutting that out has actually, and I've been doing that since before 75 hard, has been like just incredible for me. I've got a row machine at home. I've got a bunch of dumbbells. I have a bench and the pedal bike thing. And then I walk or run.
That's awesome.
You know?
I think that's the problem with working out. Sometimes we're like, all right, I have to do this thing that I hate. It's like, no, you don't. Just do something that you like. You start there, you know?
Well, and it's easy too because I was already watching TV in the evenings, and now I'm just like, if I'm gonna watch TV, I'm gonna work out.
Exactly.
You know? Oh, and exercise bands. I love the exercise bands.
Awesome. Just finding what works for you. Make it convenient. Keep your body moving.
Well, I've been reading that Atomic Habits.
Yes.
And that was also a big thing it talks about is like, make it easy. And for me, going to the gym was not making it easy.
Exactly.
I don't want to do it. And so
Yeah.
now that I'm just like, nope, not going to do that. It's, it made a huge difference.
100%.
Yeah. Music though. Have you, do you think that after you do this, like, I mean, have you been thinking about doing music again, or is it just maybe this is like a one-off thing?
I think I will do it again for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but I think I've always had the urge to kind of get back on stage. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I struggle with the day of events, especially if it's like my event. This will be different because I'm just going up on stage for a couple of songs. But like, there's just this anxiety that comes with it. Like, man, is this going to be awful? Is anybody going to show up? Why did I spend my time doing this, not something else? Once the event starts, it's great. Like, I'm ready to go. It's fun. People, like, whoever shows up, we make the most of it. But the day of the event is sometimes can be stressful. So I think about that. Like, all right, is this going to be worth it? Going through that, is this the right place for me to spend my time? But I do think like some sort of a low key concert would be a lot of fun. It was a pretty low lift. But I think, like doing with a live band would be a lot of fun too. Because I've never done a full concert with a live band, so that would be kind of a new experience. I think it would be enjoyable, and like the preparation that goes into it. I've been trying to do a lot more like deep, meaningful work. I feel like so much of my life is like, all right, how do I accomplish this goal in the quickest amount of time as possible, so it's as repeatable and I can like keep pumping things out, like social media, like 30-second videos. I'm like, all right, how do I get this done as quick as possible? Yesterday, I wrote an article that I spent like hours and hours on.
No.
And some people like it, some people don't. That's fine. But it was just a really enjoyable process that I haven't really done in a while. And so I've been like challenging myself, like how to do more like deep, meaningful work. And I think like putting together a set could be an example and a chance to do that. So,
yeah. I'm excited to do this with you because like I remember way before I knew you, I found Oregon Homeboy, and I'm excited to be able to, like, it sounds like we tried our best to make, your music sound like your music, but it is also kind of cool that it is going to be completely collaborative and it's not going to sound exactly the same, and it just feels really good that it was something that was inspiring to me as a musician. I was like, oh, dude, this is like Salem Kaiser doing it, And then now we get to collaborate on it, so I'm pretty excited. It's
100%. No, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. What made you like? Where did where did you come up with the idea of like, hey, you should come do this?
Oh, because I asked you about it
Yeah.
before we even did the podcast.
Yeah,
You know, because Oregon Homeboy made me feel so much pride.
that's so
You
cool.
know?
Yeah,
And it was so inspiring to me when I was younger to be like an organ musician.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, that's
And
so cool.
so I was like, dude, I talked to the band about it before I asked you too. I was like, dude, I recently met this guy and I didn't realize who he was. And I was like, I wonder if he would do Organ Homeboy with us.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah, that was my first viral moment for sure on MySpace. Oregon Homeboy, people like put it as their song, and it just
yeah.
it just kind of blew up, which was super fun. And like, I never made anything as I should have just kept making songs about Oregon. Like that should have just been my lane. But I was like, all right, now how do I make a song about the Northwest? I was like trying to think of like what the next thing was. But I should have just stayed there because that was a lot of fun, and it was cool being at a concert doing it, and people like what I heard from some people was like at first they thought I was like covering somebody else's song,
Oh.
and then they would realize it was mine, and they'd be like, I had no idea whose song that even was. Like the song was barely bigger than I was for sure, but it was just cool having something that resonated with so many people. And I remember seeing a video of somebody like had Oregon Homeboy like just dancing on YouTube. I was like, how cool! Like this person doesn't know me at all, but is like singing my song, dancing to it, and like posted a video about it online. So a lot of fun.
That's cool when your song is so good that people don't even
Yeah.
realize you wrote it.
Exactly. They just like the track. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Reading comments. So I wrote this article yesterday about the Salem mayor's race, and I always do my best to like present both sides, but some people just don't believe that I'm actually doing that. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that on a different podcast. But definitely people had opinions, which is always, I think, what you want when you're writing something. Like you want somebody to care about it, which is nice.
Wait, did you put this on Reddit?
It is. I didn't put. Somebody else shared it on Reddit, so I put it. It was on my newsletter. I did a newsletter on Tuesday and sent it out.
Oh,
there.
you know what? I got your newsletter.
And then yeah, somebody put it on Reddit, and
For everybody to.
people on Reddit are not a fan
Have
of what's
their
happening in
opinion.
Salem. The majority of people, maybe somebody out there likes it, but most of the comments on Reddit are accusing me of being propaganda, and I think I just need to come to terms with like, here's what I am about, and just state it publicly. Because I am absolutely pro-business. Like, I want businesses to be successful and thrive. I feel like that's what the entire page is built around. So maybe like that's why people feel like it's propaganda. And in that sense, it is. Like, yeah, I want you to support Salem businesses. I want Salem to support Salem businesses as well. I am very much pro-development. I want there to be nice things in Salem and for it to continue to grow. I know there's like a Keep Salem Lame campaign, and I'm very much not
I
on
didn't
board with
realize
that.
that was serious. Is that real?
There are people, yeah, who are like, let's just keep Salem kind of not exciting, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, nah, let's make some cool stuff happen here. That's fun for people. But yeah,
I don't know, man. I've seen Salem change so much, and it's hard for me to imagine it not changing, you know? I mean, I just want it to be better. That's all.
Yeah.
Not that I think it's bad, but like, why wouldn't I just want it to be always better?
yeah, and I think sometimes the things that people are fighting about don't have to be mutually exclusive. Like, I think there are ways that we can make changes that allow everybody to feel good about the changes that are being made, and for it not to be like a one side wins at the expense of somebody else's. And I think we just need to challenge ourselves to really find those opportunities. And they're out there. But it's easy to get our blinders on when like a certain conversation gets, when even exploring the opportunity of working together with somebody you don't agree with is seen as like an act that will make you distrustworthy. I remember we had Danielle Bethel on the podcast, and she kind of talked about the vortex of like the political sides and like either left or the right, and like once you are viewed as being on one side or the other, like it's too late. Like the other side will never accept you or trust you. And at the time, I kind of got it, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely see what she was talking about there. And I think we just need to work past that and figure out, okay, let's just work together. We're all here, better or worse. We got to figure out a way to make the most of it.
I think a lot of people are really afraid of adversity, even though they say blatantly they're not, because like there's nothing that says you are afraid of adversity as if you believe this, then don't follow me, or if you believe this, then I am cutting you completely out of my life.
Exactly, just
And it's
block
like,
me.
you are just blatantly saying you are completely uncomfortable with adversity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yep. Completely agree. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, fine, I don't care if I'm for your cause or not, you know? Like,
Yeah. And sometimes like it's a cause I haven't even put that much thought about, like I think as people now we're expected to care about everything that happens everywhere. And at a human level, of course, like we don't want bad things to happen. We want people to feel safe and to be taken care of. But at the same time, as an individual person, I just don't have the capacity to care about every issue that happens everywhere around the world. And that's a challenge with the internet because we're constantly being like made aware of all these problems happening everywhere. And I just don't believe that it's in anybody's best interest to try to care about everything, even though we want to. It's just we only have so much capacity to take care of the people. I feel like where we are going to make the biggest impact is the person that's in front of us. Like, let's make sure that like this person feels better about themselves. We're doing what we can to help the people in our community, our local community, the people that I'm connected with. And if we all have that approach, then it kind of multiplies, right? And then everybody in the world is impacted. But I feel like generally we probably have a bigger impact on the world focusing there as opposed to trying to care about everything that happens everywhere.
mm-hmm.
Maybe that sounds not empathetic, but I think it is actually very empathetic.
Not yet. I mean, kindness happens with your direct choices right in front of you. You know?
Exactly.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's not just like laws and policy and stuff. You can make changes immediately with directly the people around you.
Yeah, 100%. Cool, man. Hey, it's a good episode. Good times.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, man.
It's been a lot of fun doing this here at Metronome. Which animal is yours? I think we've asked you a couple times. It's almost like every day it could change too.
No, there's been one that it is this whole time. I think you said you're that guy. Right
Yeah,
there,
the
right?
duck with the chain on, the backwards hat.
No, I'm the bull up there. I'm gonna switch to that. This one is definitely me. That's me right there.
Let's go. Hey, Salem, we appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. What's happening in Salem Podcast?
All right, peace. Oh, how do I?